Good morning, everybody. Late morning. It is 10:33 on September 23rd, 2025. For starters, you may notice that while I'm sitting in my car, the surrounding area outside of the car looks a bit different. I am currently sitting at a dentist appointment for my daughter, and then directly after the dentist appointment for her, I have a physical therapy appointment. So that is why while I am sitting in my car, I am not underneath the carport. Like I was saying, today is September 23rd, 2025, and it is approximately 10:34 a.m. Once again, I need to get something off of my chest. So, as y'all are aware, we are temporarily staying, and yes, I'm reading this off of a script. I literally wrote this out word for word. We are temporarily staying with my husband's ex, who also is my friend of 15 years. And that in November, more specifically November 3rd, 2025, all of the adults, so meaning myself, my husband, and the friend / ex-girlfriend, all agreed to a move out date of 11/3/2025. My parents know that on that date, we, the three of us, as well as our 3 cats, will be moving from the friend's house in Newberry, South Carolina, to my parents' house in Woodstock, Illinois. Last night, so September 22nd, 2025, the 3 of us adults sat down and had a conversation about the fact that when we leave, the friend will still have access to that larger allotment of food stamps that I talked about in previous videos for a little while, at least until either our food stamps in Illinois take effect, or she calls them, meaning the friend calls the local DSS office and tells them we moved out. At some point yesterday, the friend had a phone conversation with her mom. Her mom informs her that she, the mother, is drafting up a notice to vacate for her, the daughter, to give to my husband and myself. Naturally, I was and still am rather confused by this. So I Googled for some information, and here is what I Googled and what I found out. Here is exactly word for word what I typed into Google last night. I said, and I quote, "We have been staying with a friend and are planning on moving out on November 3rd, 2025. The friend's mother, after learning that we were moving, had stated that she is bringing a notice to vacate on October 3rd, 2025, and she expects my husband and I to sign it." The friend's mother has absolutely nothing, 0% to do with our friend's home. Her name is nowhere on anything to do with the house. The mortgage and utilities are all in our friend's name. And my husband, myself, and the friend have all agreed that we will leave on November 3rd, 2025. Can the friend's mother legally have us sign the notice to vacate? Here is the information that Google provided me. Here is what Google said in response and why Cindy, the mother of the friend, is way out of line. No, your friend's mother cannot legally force you to sign a notice to vacate since she has no ownership interest in the property and is not your landlord. Any notice she issues has no legal standing. The only person who can issue a legally binding notice to vacate is the property owner or their authorized agent. Google also gave us advice on what we should know about the current situation. 1. Only the landlord has authority. In South Carolina, only the property owner or a legally authorized agent, your friend the friend in this case, has the authority to take action related to your tenancy. 2, a non-owner's notice is invalid because your friend's mother does not own the home and is not listed on the mortgage or utilities. Any notice to vacate she presents is legally invalid and we are not obligated to sign it. 3, the agreed upon move-out date is what matters. Since we, the three of us, the friend and my husband and myself, so the two of us and the homeowner, have already agreed on a move-out date of November 3rd, 2025, that is the agreement in effect. 4, signing. So if we sign, this could cause issues even though the document is not legally valid. Signing it could be used potentially as a way to create confusion or as a basis for further harassment. The safest course of action is to politely refuse to sign it and then to refer the mother back to her daughter, the homeowner. As a side note, I was also advised by Google of potential illegal eviction tactics that she might instruct her daughter to use, such as in the state of South Carolina, it is illegal for a landlord or anyone acting without legal authority to attempt a quote-unquote self-help eviction by means of changing the locks, because we do have a key to the house, which we will return when we move out. Shutting off utilities, or intimidation, essentially forcing us to move out of the property. Only law enforcement can remove tenants from a premises, and this is only after a court-ordered eviction process has been completed. The best course of action is to communicate with your friend directly, who is the actual landlord, confirm the mutual agreement for 11.3, and let the friend handle it with her mother. Now, with all of this being said, and yes, I have made the friend aware of my findings. It has been discussed that the mother is actively trying to sabotage the friendship between the three of us. I have also told the friend that I will not be signing anything from her mother. I have never, in my 39 years as on this planet, seen a case of potential sabotage. Now, I will say it again. I believe I will say it again and again and again until I am blue in the face. I believe wholeheartedly that, and this is the very first time and probably the only time that I'm going to name drop both the friend's name and the mother's name, but I wholeheartedly believe that Cindy Lee Austin is a manipulative sabotager who wants to alienate her daughter from friendships, relationships, romantic or otherwise, making her daughter solely dependent on her. I wholeheartedly believe Cindy is mad that because of us, my husband and I, Elizabeth, her daughter, has a backbone and is no longer afraid to speak her mind. For years, I have watched Cindy post blatant medical information about her daughter on Facebook in long, drawn out. I mean, you were clicking the little see more button at the bottom of a post. You would click that about 2 to 3 times per post. And it was all medical information related to her daughter. I have read text messages between the friend and I, and had conversations between her and I about how she doesn't feel like she's an adult. I mean, for crying out loud, the only one of her parents who would have any legal recourse to do anything as far as getting us out of the house, which they don't need to do because we're leaving anyway. We'd already discussed that. And I made Cindy aware that we were leaving. I made her very aware that we were leaving. I said, we're leaving on November 3rd. We're going back to my parents in Woodstock because my husband and I can't find work out here, stable work, and there's no housing out here. And I don't want, if we were going to stay out here in South Carolina, I don't want to constantly move my daughter from school district to school district. But housing out in Newberry is extremely expensive. And it's even more expensive the further out of Newberry you get. How these people are finding, cheap as chips homes in Chapin and Lawrence and Prosperity and Little Mountain and Columbia is beyond me. Because all of those, my daughter would have to be switching school districts. So I did make Cindy very well aware that we were moving to Illinois to be with my parents. And then, like I said, at some point yesterday, because I spent the bulk of the day sitting outside so that my daughter could sleep so that her pain meds could stay in effect, because she is having an issue with her teeth right now. That's why I'm sitting in the car, but my husband and she are inside the dentist office. And so I was sitting outside and, just thinking. And I come back inside at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And we had told the friend that, we'd like to be able to use at least $200 worth of those food stamps in November, so we could get some food and drinks for the road. And she said, sure, no problem. Most of it's yours anyway. That's the reason we get so much, is because it's you three and myself. Because before we were added to her case for food stamps, she was only getting $23 a month in EBT benefits. Now, because of the three of us, the food stamp allotment is over $400. So she's still going to benefit from the fact that until she either makes them aware of, or we get our food stamps in Illinois, she's still getting that large allotment for at least December, for definite. Now, how long is it going to take before the food stamps and stuff take effect? I don't know. I'm hoping not too long, because I also have to, once we get to Illinois, I have to call Social Security and make them aware of the fact that we moved. So it is it's very disheartening to know that somebody who has absolutely no legal recourse to do what they're doing is attempting to use some type of legal recourse that they don't have the authority to use. I now understand why my husband has said on multiple occasions that he has dodged a bullet when their relationship ended. Because that is not how you treat people, especially if you're sitting there claiming to be a baptized Jehovah's Witness, which both Cindy and Elizabeth are. Now, like I've said before, the only one of her parents who has the legal authority to even remotely try to get us out of the house, which I know he wouldn't do this, would be her father. And that is because her father is also on the mortgage with her, not her mother. Her mother's name is nowhere on any of those bills. And I know that for a fact because A, I helped Elizabeth reorganize her filing cabinet, and B, I've seen all of the bills as they come in, because that is how our rent is determined for that month, because we take the bills and we deduct from whatever the total amount is due, we deduct however much she would normally pay, and then we pay the difference. That is how rent is defined for me and my husband. I would say my daughter, but my daughter is only 14 and you cannot charge a minor rent. She would have to be emancipated and she's not. So rent is defined by the friend's normal allotment, normal payment, what she would normally pay, deducted from the total amount due for whatever bill. And just so we're clear, all of the bills for September have already been paid. So we've got October's bills will be the last bills that we pay here. And then November, she's said this morning, said yesterday, she's not even charging us anything for November because we're only going to be there for 3 days. It wouldn't make any sense. Because I'm sorry, but yeah, since we've been here, her electric bill has been a little bit more egregious. But it's not just her electric bill, and we're still like trying to communicate with her. Yeah, well, on this particular bill, it's not just your electric, it's your water, it's your garbage, and it's your like sewer plus all the city taxes because you are within the city limits. So that's why your electric bill is what it is. Your gas bill doesn't change hardly. And your mortgage bill, if your mortgage bill goes up, that's your mortgage company's doing. That's not a reflection on how many people are living in the house. That's not how that's determined. But nonetheless, we have been paying her rent and we're also still paying for the car. Now, the car will continue to get paid for. I just have to make sure that I have Cindy's address so that we can send Cindy a money order every month for the car payment, and then boom, the car is paid off. Even though legally we shouldn't have to pay her anything because her name is not on the title. We have every stinking right to take this car and drive it wherever the hell we want. She has done nothing but severely overstepped her bounds. I'm folding this back and putting it back in my purse because nobody knows that I wrote this, nor do they know that I am recording it. But that's okay. I just want to get this off my chest and get it out of the way. So for future reference, if anybody decides that for whatever reason they would like to move in with their friends, please make sure that the person or the friend that you're choosing to potentially move in with, make sure that either it's agreed upon, meaning there has to be a verbal agreement or either verbal or written from both parties. So the party with whom you would be moving in and the party who is doing the moving in. B, also make sure that the party with whom you would like to potentially move in, make sure that they are the sole property owners of the property where you'd like to move. Meaning if they are the ones paying all of the bills, but all the bills are coming in somebody else's name, that means that they are not the property owners. So make sure that they are the property owners. Because you find yourself being at risk of being in a situation like we were almost potentially in. And yes, I sent everything that I found at like 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning to my husband because I was just like, everything she's been doing since the car she can't legally do. She also drew up this like cockamamie contract for the car and had both my husband and I sign it. And legally, she can't do that because, first of all, we didn't ask her to buy us the car. We didn't ask her to take out a loan on her credit card for money for the car. And she knows that for a fact because I have a text message in my phone that starts with, I shouldn't be telling you this, but blah, blah, blah. Not only that, but she didn't go in with my husband into the little car place and physically hand over the money and put her name on the title. It was all my husband. Like, she gave my husband the money. I was standing outside the car, stretching my legs, and watched her give my husband the money and watched my husband go inside, sign the paperwork, come out with a clean title in hand, and we drove the car off the lot. The dealership put a makeshift plate on the back of the car. My husband had the clean title in hand, and we drove the car off the lot. And when I have the title right here. We bought the car from Makeaway Sales, LLC. In Spartanburg, South Carolina on July 24th, 2025. Here's what the contract, the thing actually says. Okay. And this is the affidavit and notification of sale of motor vehicle. It says, personally appeared before Makeaway Sales, LLC, which is located at 2044 South Church Street, extension Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29306, who being duly sworn dispose and says that on the 24th day of July 2025 he sold the following motor vehicle: Honda Odyssey 2003 with VIN number, and we have the receipt that shows that and I'm sorry, and here, right here, the clean title to the car. Certificate of title, VIN number, year 2023, make Honda model Odyssey, new or used. Full name of owners, William John Preuss. She is nowhere on the title or the sale paperwork for this car. And yet she is trying to, claim that she has the right to repossess the car if we don't pay her back. Which, first of all, she's assuming, sorry, I was putting my paperwork back in closing. She's assuming that she's not going to get paid back. And I'm sorry, but legally, if I were to take everything that she said, text messages and all, in front of a judge, the judge would look at her and go, lady, you are absolutely insane, because what I see here is your offer of a gift of a vehicle for this couple. Legally, you cannot expect repayment for a gift. So, Cindy, I'm sorry, but while you'll get your payment back, you'll get your money back for the car and the loan that you took out to purchase the car, what you're doing and the way that you're going about doing it is wrong. It is wrong. And everything in my gut is telling me that I need to get a lawyer, because what you're trying to do is egregiously illegal. Grow the fuck up. Act like a goddamn adult. And realize that you cannot treat people like this.